Hi my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. It's good to be back. I was off one day. I had Saturday off just to not have to do any videos, so that was really nice. Okay, we're on Promise Me. I've got the support club and something I changed. So if you went to my website on Friday for the Tantalizing Table Toppers, I did make a change to the block that I did. I switched out the outer border just because after I had it up on the wall for a while and I'd already done the video and loaded it, I was like, you know, I really need to change the outer border. So here's two little clips of me auditioning the fabric. There I've tried a different outer border on it and I like it better. Do I want to leave the inner border as the stripe? Maybe. I'm going to also test a different outer border. So just come up here. So all I did was cut the strips and put them on there. So now I am thinking this might be, that stripe might be part of what goes along on this. I used a different one of the fabrics from Birdsong, and this has the pink background. I like this one better. And I like this one leaving the inner sashing, which means I don't have to remove that. That's a plus. And I did show that to you on Friday on my blog when you went over there to download the directions for how to do that little frame. I did show you the picture of how I changed it. So hope that wasn't too confusing, but sometimes things just need to be changed. You do it, it looks great when you first do it, and then after it sits there for a while, you're like, no, that's not it. I need to fix it. Anyway, that happens, and I don't plan these out way in advance for some of the projects, particularly the samplers. They're not really planned out, unlike these, which are planned out. So it's just a little bit different process. Okay, so for support club, let's do that next. First, let me show you my cross stitch. So I finished and I put it on the little Ackfeld frame. This is a tabletop version. They actually have one you can hang on the wall too. So I went ahead and put the needle minder up here. For those of you that didn't get the needle minder yet but want one, they ran out, but they're having more made and they will come in this week. So you'll be able to get one. But I just did the one block and I went with the blue fabric, which sort of has some green in it, which I think matches the bra that I cross-stitched, and this is from my sleepover fabric line. I think it turned out so darling. It's so cute. So this is going to go up on my shelf in here in my studio for a little while, and I'm going to just leave the needle minder on there because I think that's cute too. So we're on week 3 of the bras for the project. So let's take a look at this video where I show it to you. We're on the 3rd row now, and this one is all one fabric. So I've done one in the medium scale roses in black, then the teal with the great big roses. So pretty. Do you see how it's branched out from either side? So it brings all the roses more towards the center. And then there's roses here. Look how pretty that is. And then the same medium scale in the pink. So I went ahead and put some different borders up, switched around. So now here I rotated. You remember last week I had it so that it was more like the in-between area over here was showing. You didn't see as much of the large roses. So there are the large roses, which are for this week's block. That's that block. And then I did the teal with the medium scale. Last week I had the black up there. So the teal, this is a small scale teal down here. Just to see the difference. So that's a little bit smaller scale. I like this medium scale because you can still really see the colors. All right, so tell me what you think there. Do you like the teal? And if you do you like the medium scale or do you like the larger scale? So tell me in the comments here at YouTube. Let's also try some of the lighter colors. This is the light gray, which is used here and down here in this one. It has the smaller rosebuds. Now the light green is used once in the block, but it's also the same green that's in a lot of the fabrics. So there is the lighter shades in the actual florals. So the light green brings a really freshness to the piece, I think. That's another option. And the medium scale pink. It's the same pink used here and over here. It's not the larger one like down here. I think the larger print is a little bit much for it. I really prefer the medium scale. So what do you think? Darker, lighter, pink, gray, green, teal, or black? Next week, I will show you the quilt. So you can see there, picking the border fabric, I was kind of walking through different options because a lot of different things will work. So it'll be really fun to reveal which border I selected. All right, promise me we are on the last block. Look how pretty this block is. Ah, it is so nice. So I'm going to walk through a little bit about the block because it's pretty simple. But I'm also going to talk about the border. So I'm going to, this discussion, we're going to do borders the next 2 weeks as well, but I want to get that discussion started on the borders so you can start thinking about them. So let's go to the other side of the table. The next time I'm on the back side of this table, this will be a different quilt. So I love the strawberry quilt with the birdsong fabric. It just is so pretty. If you don't have it yet, you can still get one. So link is below if you need that. Okay, we are going to do the last block this week for Amongst the Stars. Amongst the Stars again, actually. So this is the booklet we've been sewing from, and we're using my Promise Me fabric. And here's the block page. So it is the Arizona Star. So pretty, such a pretty star. Let's take a look at them down here because you do the same star twice and you switch around the colors. So the gray points now become the gray inside, and then the green is points here and the green is side. And then I've got the cream swirl in the middle of both of them. This is another block where there's a really nice space for a big print, but you could actually take that a little bit further. If you like this outside part, but you had a great big feature fabric, you could do this whole inside as a feature fabric, and then you could maybe snowball the corners. That would be doing sew and flip on the 4 corners, and then showcase a much bigger piece of a fabric. So that is a way you could use this block a little bit differently. So it's basically half square triangles, rectangles, and some flying geese. So there's flying geese out just on the four points. All right, the other thing I want to talk about is the border. So today I want to give you the mechanics of the border so that if you make these 2 stars and you want to start thinking about the border and how it's going to work, I'm going to give you just a few pointers on that one. So my border, let's take a look at it on the, let's take a look at it here in the book. So this book has 2 colorations. It was done in a Christmas fabric and it was done in an autumn fabric. And so the Delectable Mountain border, that's what that is, that's what that block is shifted so that the color is on the outside. I'm going to show you that again with the actual block. But the color is running along the outside, which gives it kind of a frame. And the light color is against the blocks. So let's take a look. I'm doing the border with Promise Me in my wonderful background that I told you about the other day, like the perfect background, and the little roses on black. So here is the Delectable Mountain block. Now often you will see this block and the bottom of it will be here. You'll think about it as a mountain, right? So here's the base of the mountain and here's the peaks of the mountain. And you might see them, like rows of them like this. They might be offset like that. Delectable Mountain is a very traditional block. It's been around a really long time. Now, this book was done by the Fat Quarter Shop. And so they did a little bit of a different take on putting it together, even though it still gives you the same exact visual. So they have taken and reworked this unit here just a little bit to make it possibly easier for you. So let me show you what that is. I will bring in the parts here. So these are the parts, the kind of the sideway parts. Because what you have is a flying geese unit. So there's a flying geese unit right at the top. And this part will be a sew and flip so that you get your point like that. So here is this angle, and then down here gives you the bottom, and that's another sew and flip, and that will go out like here. So there you go. You're doing sew and flips on these two outer units, and then the middle unit is a square with a half square triangle, I mean with a flying geese on top, a square with a flying geese on top, and then you repeat on these sides. Now when you're going to put this against the fabric, and we'll show these again, I'll show these again next week because we'll be primarily talking about it, but I just wanted to start you thinking about your border. A lot of times people will be doing this. You'll be putting the dark side, right, against the blocks. You know, there might be a sashing there, but basically the dark side against the blocks, and then the outer part would be light. So that would be kind of like, maybe there'd be a corner like that, or maybe just like this, or maybe just a square. For this project, all of that is flipped. It's rotated so that you have the light coming to the inside, the dark is framing the outside. And when you do this beautiful flower, it makes this amazing corner. Look at that corner. Isn't that awesome? So here's the book again. So now that you can see all the dark, and you really see it on the red. The dark is the outer edge. Now this is going to be super fun to do. They are very relaxed. You can do a bunch of this, you know, like you could just take it as thinking one unit. Maybe you could just do all the flying geese at once. Then maybe you might take and do all of the longer strip with the sew and flip of the small square. You can, you know, sort of look at it and decide what might be good for you. And we'll dive into that a little bit deeper next Monday. But I just wanted to kick off with it so that you could get an idea and a feel for how this border is going to go on here. Next week and the week after we'll be you know, making borders and then setting the whole quilt. So excited, so excited. So you've got your Arizona stars to do today. So this is going to be just spectacular. So where should they go on here, huh? And on my website today, I have a photo of it straight on, so you'll be able to go look at that. So these two have the gray in it, which is, you know, there's gray in this block and there's gray in the block below. So this is a super nice balance because they're different gray. This gray has the little pink roses on it, and the other block had the gray with the little background texture. So there. Now I can sew all of this together. Sew all of that up. Now Climbing Roses is, you should be getting your blocks done for that. There is another little inner border, and then I'm just going to put the blue, the big blue floral. Where is it? Well, yeah, it's down at the bottom, of course. So this will be my border on here, which will be the big blue floral. So I'll be adding that. So I have to get working on that border and get that done. Lots and lots of things going on. Let's look at a really sweet mail call. Mail call! So the first thing came from Julie in Arizona. This is incredible. Julie, I was like, first of all, when you open it, the package had paper. So I was like, oh, it has to be something more than just that. She sent me some Alice in Wonderland prints on fabric so that I can incorporate them into my quilt when I start working on my Alice quilt. My Alice in Wonderland quilt. I talked about it on a video the other day, so go back and watch that. Aren't these incredible? So they're a printed paper. Julie, these are amazing. Thank you so much. Mwah. And then the other is a sweet box from Marla. And Marla was our first quilt winner for reaching that was 80,000? Yeah, 80,000 people on the subscribers for here at YouTube, and Marla won the quilt, and so she sent me some goodies. And Marla is in, she's in Texas. Yeah, Texas. Okay, so she sent me this super cute note. Look at this. Look at that card. So pretty. I love it. And just a whole bunch of different goodies. Look at this super nice, just this vintagey card. Like, I love that. And a cute notepad for November. That's when my birthday is, by the way, November. And then she makes a lot of crochet things. So she sent me a few of those. She said she had to get a red one for me. And then these scrubbies, which she sent one for Greg. He says, thank you. Thank you, Marla. And then she does a bunch of different tea towels. So she crochets at the top. Aren't those darling? All kinds of ones for the holidays, for Halloween. And here's, oh, look how pretty that one is. Look at that fabric. And I think there's another one in here. Oh, there's a red one in there too. And so what else is there? There's a couple other goodies. Oh, look at this. Look, the super cute coasters. Ah, they are so pretty. And she sent me, what do we got here? Oh, for your tissues. We gotta love those. Thank you, Marla. Mwah. Thank you so much for thinking of me, and I hope you're enjoying your quilt. Tomorrow on the video, I am going to get out all of the future projects. I'm going to walk through what are future projects coming up and which ones I have fabric selected for, and sort of lay it all out, which is what I do when I'm working, because as a business I'm doing a lot of these. You're not doing all of them. I am, but you're not. And so I just want to show you sort of my process of how I look at it. So you might find that interesting. And then today kicks off the Virginia Quilt Museum auction with my quilts. So they have a group of my quilts that I gave to the Virginia Quilt Museum to use as a fundraiser. And they decided that what they wanted to do was do an online auction. And so they've put all the quilts up there. You have from today until November 8th. November 9th. You have from today till November 9th to bid on my quilts, which will all support the Virginia Quilt Museum. And I hope when you're over there that you also join the museum as a member, because that will just be such a great thing to support a museum, a quilt museum. They are in a Civil War era home and in Harrisonburg, Virginia. So if you're ever down in that area, you can go and visit the museum in person and see the quilts. Not mine, because they'll be auctioned, but see the quilts that they have on exhibit. They do lots of rotating exhibits. They also do online workshops. They do in-person workshops. So there's all kinds of variety going on at the museum. I am just totally honored and thrilled that they're doing an auction like this with my quilts to support the museum. So I hope you get one. I hope that you bid and bid well and that you get them. All right, my friend, you're going to make some blocks and more blocks. Whichever project you're working on. I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.